And we are back. Welcome to my predictions for Premier League Game Week 8 in what could be the biggest day in the SO99 channel's history. We have reached 962 subscribers as things stand, which means if we do what we've done the last 2 Fridays, then today will be the day where we actually hit 1,000 subscribers. And if you are the luckiest person to be number 1,000, thank you very, very much for all of your support. And like I say, it's been an incredible rise over the last few weeks, and I cannot thank you all enough. And of course, if you haven't done so already, please do drop a like on this video as well if you've been enjoying all my prediction series. And one final reminder from me that I do have a second channel. I do have a gaming channel where tomorrow I will be live streaming for the first time this year. I will be streaming my first Ultimate Team Weekend League of the season on EA Sports FC. So if you want to see even more from me, please do check out SO99 Gaming. But of course, we are here for SO99 today. We're here to do some predictions as we do every single week. And another reminder to you that as we move it towards the international break after this weekend's Premier League fixtures, that I will be again doing daily international predictions for all of the Euro 2024 qualifiers. So if they still haven't subscribed after all of that plugging, I don't know what more I can do. But let's go back to the Premier League. It was a mixed week of European action for the Premier League sides in the Champions League, Europa League and Europa Conference League. But it is now time for the Premier League once again. And let's get straight in to Game Week 8 predictions. Starting off with the Saturday lunchtime game. It is Luton Town taking on Tottenham Hotspur. The first of what you would call the big sides coming to Kenilworth Road. So we'll see how things work. Of course, it's an early kickoff as well, which is something that Luton haven't done so far this season. I just don't think it's going to happen. After what happened against Burnley the other night, I honestly don't know how Luton didn't win that game. They absolutely battered Burnley in that second half. And the moment they scored, Burnley then got the equaliser straight away. So I just don't see it happening for Luton this weekend against Tottenham. They've played so well so far this season, and yeah, I'm going to go for 3-1 to Spurs. I think Luton definitely could cause Spurs some problems, but I think with the quality that Tottenham have got, yes, as we say, it's going to be Heung-min Son playing at Kenilworth Road. It's going to be superstar footballers in a situation that they're not really used to. But I think considering the fact that obviously Spurs got their huge away win against Burnley earlier on already this season, I just think that's the way the game's going to go. On to the first of only 4 o'clock kickoffs this week. It is Burnley themselves up against Chelsea. Now, Chelsea finally managed to put the performance that they've been looking for together against Fulham on the Monday Night Football. I'm expecting to back that up with another fantastic performance this weekend. If you missed my fantasy football video yesterday, you would have seen that I've actually suggested to go for Mykhailo Mudryk because I think he played very, very well against Fulham, and that might have just been the performance he needed to kickstart his season. I'm going to go 3-0 to Chelsea. I think it's starting to look like it's coming together for them. Yes, they're a long way off where they should be, but we shall see. Burnley are a very good possession-based side, but I think Chelsea will end up picking them off, and I'm going to go for Chelsea to get the win. On to the first, what I would think is really difficult ones to call this week, which is Everton up against Bournemouth. Now, Everton's away form has been fantastic. Their home form has been absolutely diabolical, and they've lost their last 4 home games to teams that either finished in the bottom half of the Premier League last season or were newly promoted sides. So here they go up against Bournemouth, another one of those teams that finished near the bottom half of the table last season. So I can't realistically give Everton the win here because their home form just hasn't been there. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I really think this is a game where all 3 results are possible. But as things stand right now, I can't separate them. I'm going for a draw. Next up, Fulham against Sheffield United. Fulham looking to bounce back from the 2-0 home defeat to Chelsea. Sheffield United still looking to bounce back from what has been some very poor performances over the last couple of weeks. I think if it's going to happen for Sheffield United, this is the game where it's going to happen for them. However, I just don't think it is going to be the game for them, and I'm going to go for 2-0 to Fulham. The final game on the 3 o'clocks on Saturday is the game that I talked about, the game that I will be reacting to after it finishes. It is Manchester United against Brentford. And do we have to talk about Man United again? I don't really want to. We should win this game. I see no reason why we can't win this game. Brentford have really been underperforming so far this season. So what better opportunity for them than to come to Old Trafford and inflict yet another defeat on the Manchester club. But surely we win this game. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Manchester United. But that is a very, very biased and hopeful 2-1 to Manchester United because the performances need to start turning around rapidly or we could be in serious, serious problems going forward this season. On to the evening game on Saturday. It is Crystal Palace taking on Nottingham Forest. And Again, we have to talk about Crystal Palace. We have to talk about Manchester United again. And obviously, Crystal Palace got a fantastic result away at Manchester United last week. And if they'd defend the way they defended in that game, I don't see Nottingham Forest putting a scratch on them. And we all know how good Crystal Palace are at creating chances and picking their moments. So I'm going to go for 2-0 to Palace in the Saturday night football. Onto a massive set of games on Sunday, and all of them are really tough to call. We start off with Brighton against Liverpool, the televised game on Sunday lunchtime. Brighton managed to pull back from a 2-0 deficit to draw 2-2 against Marseille last night. Liverpool were relatively comfortable, resting a few key players, and were able to get the 2-0 win against Union Saint-Gilloise. Brighton have lost a fair few players to injuries over the last couple of weeks, and I know a lot of clubs have suffered injuries over the last few weeks. Liverpool themselves have suffered injuries and suspensions over the last couple of weeks. So it's tough, but again, I think Liverpool are playing really well this season. I think people are still writing them off a little bit. I think this is a proper test for them. I think Brighton, no matter what side they put out, normally perform to a high standard. But I say that, and they lost 6-1 to Aston Villa last week. So I think Liverpool take it, and I'm just going to go for what is the Liverpool scoreline at the moment, which is 3-1 to Liverpool. Yes, it was 2-0 last night, but 3-1 has been their most popular result over the last couple of months. Next up, West Ham taking on Newcastle. Newcastle managing to get a 4-1 win against Paris Saint-Germain. West Ham, of course, able to get their win in Europe as well. The only two games West Ham have lost so far this season have been to Manchester City and Liverpool, who have been two of the best performing sides in the Premier League so far this season. Newcastle's form has been very mixed, and granted, over the last couple of weeks, Newcastle have possibly been the best team in the Premier League. However, I think the way that West Ham play is going to be really difficult for Newcastle to play against. And I've just got this little funny feeling that West Ham are going to turn over Newcastle this weekend. I'm going to go for 2-1. I think their physicality and their drive is really going to match how Newcastle play. I think it's just going to come down to little moments. And obviously, with James Ward-Prowse available, if West Ham can get those set pieces, whilst Newcastle are still missing the likes of Sven Botman in their defensive line, I think West Ham have the opportunity to sneak a win here. Next up, Wolves, Aston Villa, the Birmingham derby. Who's going to take it? I don't know, It's very easy to say, Aston Villa, they turned up last week. They beat Brighton 6-1, but Wolves beat Man City. Wolves are playing some fantastic football. They just need to be a little bit more consistent in front of goal. And don't forget, it took a 94th minute winner from John McGinn last night for Aston Villa to beat what should have been a very, very easy team for them. So I'm not holding my breath on Aston Villa just yet. I think last week was a bit of a one-off, and I think Wolves are more than capable of getting a result in this one. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think there's going to be chances at both ends, and I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that one. Which brings us to the main event of the weekend, arguably the main event of the season so far. It is last season's runners-up against last season's champions, Arsenal against Manchester City, and the only word on everyone's mind is missing players. City will be without Rodri and a few others through injury. How many of Arsenal's starlets are going to be missing? Saka could potentially be out. Martinelli looks like he's definitely out. That's two of their best players. Odegaard seems to be the only one that's fully fit. Jesus looked absolutely knackered in the Champions League the other night against Lens, where they obviously lost. Some of their defence looked a little bit ropey, but at the same time, City lost to Newcastle, lost to Wolves, really struggled against RB Leipzig. And if it wasn't for an absolute wonder goal from Julian Alvarez, I think they probably could have gone on to at least draw, maybe even lose that game as well. So City aren't playing well. Arsenal have played well, but not got the results over the last couple of weeks. So I don't know. I don't know where to put it. This is a massive opportunity for Arsenal. If they're going to be serious title contenders this season, this is the time to play Manchester City. So given what's happened over the last couple of weeks, I'm going to give this one to Arsenal, but say that realistically, this is still a game City should be winning. But I just think this is going to be Arsenal's chance to pip them, and we'll see. I'm going to go for 2-1. Let me know, as always, down in the comments, all of your thoughts for this weekend's games. Thank you very much for all the support, as always. And if we do manage to hit 1,000 subscribers in this video, then obviously I will be reacting to that, as well as the Manchester United game in tomorrow's reaction video. And of course, as I said, don't forget to check out the SO99 gaming channel, where I will be live streaming during tomorrow afternoon in the lead up to Manchester United against Brentford. Hopefully I'll see you then. If not, I will see you soon.